got something now that's working, but you kind of want to add a little bit to it, add in small increments. And if it works, give it time to see if it works. And if it works, then keep it. And if it doesn't work, then drop it and don't feel bad about it. Good morning, everybody. It is Monday, April 29th. It is day 29 and the last day of April Plan As You Go, where I show how I use my Erin Condren, my bullet journal, and my Powersheets in tandem for an entire month. I am not going to be filming on the 30th. This video will go live on the 30th, and this will be the last video of Plan As You Go. The reason I'm not filming tomorrow is because that's the day I fly to Vegas for Go Wild, and originally I thought I might be able to, but honestly, I am so swamped right now that I just don't have, I know I'm not going to have the time to not only film it and edit it and get it up there, and I'm just like, fuck it, you know what? This is just the way it's going to be, but that's cool. I'm sure you guys understand. I am so sorry if I sound funky in this video. The allergy sledgehammer has hit me right between the eyes, and I am like snarfly and sneezy and all the things, and it's just, my eyes itch, you know. I love beautiful weather, but fuck, dude. My beautiful weather does not love me. The main focus of my video today is going to be getting my Powersheets handled for the month of May, or for the month of April and May, going through those. So I'm going to do that last. I know sometimes I like to do the big thing ahead of time, like whether I'm, setting my bullet journal up or something. But today I want to just get the basic planning done and then get into my Powersheets, because that's the stuff that takes a lot more brain power from me. And so I'd like to just spend a little bit of time here and then more in there. The only thing I'm gonna do in my Erin Condren today is kind of check in on it, because I stickered the fuck out of it yesterday, and I can link that video up above if you haven't seen it yet. I called it a sticker with me because that's really what it was, as you can see, prepping for Go Wild. Looking at this is basically all the things. I have a meeting today. I have to get my dry cleaning picked up and get a haircut if possible. That'd be really good. My hair is so straggly right now. I look like Khal Drogo at the end of season 1 of Game of Thrones. And P.S., if you watched, I'm not going to leave any spoilers, but fuck, dude. Sunday night's episode, I seriously could not breathe. Like, I had anxiety the whole episode, and I watched this for pleasure. Anyway, I have to do this Plan As You Go. I need to get a bunch of freelance stuff together for a project and then send it off. And then I need to go make my packing list and head to Target tonight to pick up any last minute things for the trip. And that should that's already ambitious for today. I don't know if I have a Patreon post that already went live this morning, and I need to answer some questions there as well. It's just going to be a day. So the other thing I did not put on here that I probably should put on, I'll put it on Tuesday because I'll probably be doing it tomorrow on my way out of town. But a big thing to remember is I need to go pick up cash, because I like to have cash when I travel. I'm sure a lot of you do as well. And I need to remember to figure out what time we have to go to the airport. My husband is driving me. Normally I drive myself and just leave my car at the airport, but this is a long trip and the bags are usually really heavy and it's hard for me to handle them. And so he's going to drive me, and then on Sunday he's going to pick me up with the kids. Now, I don't think I updated this for 2 days. I did not take a painkiller either of those days, but last night, I don't even know if my kidneys were hurting. I was so exhausted. I had a bunch of church shit going on, and then when the church shit was over, I came home and worked all afternoon until Game of Thrones. And then as soon as Game of Thrones was done, I worked a little bit more, and then I went to bed, and I was so exhausted, so exhausted. I also need to go to the pharmacy at some point today. I think it's one of those days where I think I have a lot more time than I actually do. All right, let's look at my lettering for the day is flower horn, but I have to put that in, so we'll get there in a second. So the doodling for SpongeBob is Harold. And I have a couple of questions. These are the last Plan As You Go questions, but I will be figuring out a way to kind of incorporate. I've had some ideas. I'm not sure yet, but I love this conversation that we have with questions in the comments. And so I'm trying to incorporate a way to do that on a regular basis, even though I film a lot of my videos in batches, so it wouldn't work for, say, a pen review video when I film that a couple weeks ahead of time. But I am thinking about a way to to do that, so stay tuned. I have 2 questions, and they are from Alize, and the first one I will answer now, and I'm going to come back to the other one in a few minutes. The first question is, when I'm no longer doing Plan As You Go, is there any way we can see your daily doodling challenge? Yeah, I actually would like to start posting it on Instagram. Whether I do it every day or whether I compile it, film myself doing it, 3 days in a row and then put it together. I'm not sure yet, but I've been pretty MIA on Instagram, except for occasionally in stories, just because I've been so busy these last couple weeks. But when I get back, my goal is to do a lot more of those lettering videos and maybe these doodles as well. So at Llama Letters on Instagram is probably your best bet. But I will come back to your other question in a few minutes. And the doodle for today is Harold, whose full name is Harold Bill Reginald. Maybe because he's had different names on the show throughout the series. I feel like I was a lot more successful fitting everything into here because I only have one more left than I have been in the past, so that's good. All right, so going forward, if you watch my May setup, you'll know I am really strapped for space at the end of this bullet journal. So this is the space I have left. I'm going to put my lettering for this week and next week, like this week that goes from April to May here. And here is just going to be for today's bullet journaling, anything I need to put for tomorrow, and my packing list. So I'm not even going to get super fancy with it, especially since these were just a couple notes I was taking for book club, and then I wound up not just writing them directly into the computer as opposed to writing them here. So maybe I'll put a sticker there. Do I have a sticker that'll work for that? I have this gigantic Welcome to Fabulous Go Wild sticker. I could use that. That's not going to cover it up, though. I just want to cover it up because I don't need it anymore. I think I just fucking janked my whiteout up. What the fuck? I think it's because I'm impatient. I am a very impatient whiteouter. I am not good at moving like nice and slowly. I killed my whiteout. No, wait, no, I didn't. There it is. Now it's working. This is like a hot fucking mess of messiness, but whatever. This is just a reminder that the reason this week is all janky is because, go wild. All right, so here's my list. I think there's more that I'll probably need to put on here, but I'm not going to worry about that now. This already feels like way too much. Now, as I'm getting to my power sheets, Jamie asks me, have you enjoyed April's Plan As You Go as much as you hoped you would? Just want to say a huge thank you for doing the videos every day for us. Well, you're very welcome. I did enjoy it. It has been a little more stressful than I expected after February's really nice Plan As You Go. And I think it's because on the very first day of Plan As You Go, I had a couple of things kind of drop in my lap that are really excellent, but at the same time, they added a whole new level of stress and work to this month that I wasn't expecting. I enjoyed it. It was a lot more intense. Although I will say this 1 day delay, I don't know if you guys like it or not, but for me, it has been really helpful to not have to film and then edit and get everything up before I can do anything else that day. So being able to edit whenever I can fit it in later in the day and not have to worry about a video going up late has been really nice. Ashley asked me, are you familiar with the Enneagram? And if so, what number are you? Your responses to some of these questions has me curious. It's a system of understanding personality. I've heard of it. I haven't taken the test or anything. And this is not the first personality test people have asked me about. I'm thinking about doing a video in the future where I take a bunch of these personality tests and see what they say. Because I'm curious, but I've never taken. There's only been like one I've taken in my whole life. I'm going to update these power sheets for today. They're not going to be fully updated until tomorrow because tomorrow's the last day of April. But for now, I want to update them with the work I have done. And then we're going to get into the power sheet stuff, the reflections for this month, and then the power sheets for May. I want to answer really quick Alize's last question. She said, what tips would you have for someone who has major anxiety and uses planning as a calming mechanism? I love how you use your power sheets in Bujo and EC, but I feel if I tried to mimic that, it would make me more anxious. Then don't do it. I developed maybe isn't the right word, but I have come to this system over quite some time of trying things, adding things, taking things away, and testing to see what works and what doesn't work. And when something does work, really sticking to it. That's my suggestion for you. I can't tell you the best planner system to use because I'm not you and I don't know what your life looks like and I don't know what your anxiety looks like. But what I can tell you is if you've got something now that's working but you kind of want to add a little bit to it, add in small increments. And if it works, give it time to see if it works. And if it works, then keep it. And if it doesn't work, then drop it and don't feel bad about it. The best tip I could possibly give anyone, especially for people who depend on their planning system to bring them calm, is to not change things out abruptly, but to take every change you make slowly and with thought. because that will help keep the transitions a little bit more stable and less up and down than if you're like, oh, new thing I want, let's try that thing. Oh, new thing I want, let's try that thing. And it just becomes a roller coaster. That works for some people's personalities, but if you need your planning system to keep your shit on the level, then you need to try and make sure any changes you take are on the level as well. I hope that helps. Here's the month in review. I'm going to fill this out and then I will talk to you guys about it. All right, this is super sloppy, but I will try to explain. So we're going down the list of things that happened in April and looking to May. This month I'm especially grateful for Google Calendar, and if you would like, I have been using it. The reason I am grateful for Google Calendar is because I have been using it to map out this big project I'm working on, and so far it has been really helpful. And I will talk about that in a future video if you are interested to see how I use Trello and Google Calendar in a little bit more of a practical way when it comes to a specific project. I've kind of talked about it when it comes to like YouTube calendaring and stuff, but this is for like one project kind of a thing. Goals that are going well, my business goals. I'm still working on them, but this month has been a really excellent one for moving forward, and not only moving forward with projects and things and blah, 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 but moving forward with figuring out how to plan things out and then execute them in a way where at the very least I'm trying to set boundaries, and I've made some progress on that. It's not perfect, but it's I could see progress this month, which I'm excited about. Someone I'm grateful for and why, NVU's search committee. I got to talk to our new minister this weekend about social justice. I got to hear a sermon of hers, and she is fantastic, and I am so grateful for them, especially after this last couple of years. Someone else I'm grateful for is one of my nurse coordinators at the transplant center. I have been getting some more news and things like having to do with my kidneys, and I'll talk more about those in a future video. But she has been really diligent in following up with me and talking to me and giving me information and letting me ask questions through this process, and I have been immensely grateful for her. I am choosing grace over guilt about morning pages because I did not do them at all this month. I like Taylor's suggestion from a couple of videos about maybe doing them in the evening. I'm not sure yet. I'm not ready to decide. I guess I have to decide now because I'm working on these if I want to give that a try for next month. But I have been so exhausted just in the mornings in general that I haven't had the energy for it. And I want to talk more about that in one of these later categories here. Progress I'm celebrating, even if it was small. I think I talked about this in a recent video that I realized that I need to get out of the house and work in the afternoons when my kids are at their dad's house because it helps me disengage from work. I'm in the working at home trap where it's hard for me to move from work to home mode when it's time to make dinner and talk to my husband. And when my kids are home, they naturally help me disengage when they get home from school. I'm still working, but my focus is split. My focus is not split on the weeks they're at dad's because I can be completely in my head until Jesse gets home. So leaving the house and working somewhere else for a little while helps me to break out of that work mindset when I get home. There's been some progress there. My favorite memory from this month, I put booze and balls. This actually comes from when I was working bingo with Katie for the band, as a volunteering thing. And we were handing out those little flash scratcher games. And there was a game called Booze something or another, and then Blazing Balls were the other two games. So people asked me what I had, and I would say Booze and Balls, and it was funny. You guys know me. You know my gutter mind. A good lesson I learned, setting boundaries really does work. And that has I knew that, but I really got to know that this month because in many different situations, I've been putting some boundaries into place with different levels of success, but I've seen enough success in enough areas to know that it really does work and I should do it more often. What I'm saying no to next month, guilt over being exhausted, because I am now pretty much exhausted all of the time and I can't let myself keep feeling guilty over it because it's going to keep happening. I have fucking kidney disease. I am in late stage 4 kidney disease. I'm going to be exhausted. And I just need to not be feeling guilty about it because it just is. And I tell that to all of you too, right? I've said that to you before. If you have a bad day or if you're tired, if you have to stay in bed, if you're having a mental day, like a mental illness kind of day where you need to just step back, or if you are having a chronic pain day, or if you're just having a day because you're tired or your brain is just hurting from anything that's going on, that it's not good or bad. It just is. And it's the same with my exhaustion. I need to take my own fucking advice. what I'm saying yes to next month. So I say, but I hope I pronounced that right. I didn't even ask you when we were talking to each other in person, is an organizer, and we met through, she's going to go wild. She's been watching my videos. She came to my house and gave me some suggestions, and next month I would like to implement them because I think they're going to be really helpful both for my home and for my work life. That was a lot of talking, and I feel like I'm more caffeinated. I don't feel caffeinated. I feel exhausted, but that felt caffeinated. All right, so I'm going to fill out this section, and then, again, you know the drill. I'm going to fill it out. We're going to talk about it. I actually didn't have a lot to put here, and it took me a long while to kind of think about these things, maybe because the big thing that's been dominating over my head over the last couple of months is taxes, and we got that done. I have a trip coming up tomorrow that I'm looking forward to, even though, I'm always a little stressed out about it. Potentially another trip later, and then, just work to do this month. And so it feels like, even though it's a busy month for those things, that I'm kind of just in a put my head down and just get shit done. And so I don't really have time to sort of ruminate on how I'm feeling. At least that's how it feels right now. So it's kind of bare bones compared to the rest. But let's go over them anyway. The big project I'm working on is stressing me out mostly because of all the pieces that have to go with it, and I'll be talking about that soon. Go Wild presentation is this week, and I'm still working on it, and it's different than anything I've done at a lot of other places, so I'm kind of a little frazzled about that. I have an appointment with my kidney doctor in a couple weeks, and those always stress me out, so no surprise. Stuff going on with having teenagers, that's stressing me out. And then figuring out this summer, we have some trips we need to make this summer. I have a lot of work that's going to need to get done this summer, and juggling all of that is going to be interesting, and it's starting to look me in the face because summer vacation is in a little over a month. And then fears I have, money, and this mostly has to do with the fact that I just paid taxes, so I spent a lot of the money I had sitting waiting, which was for taxes, but I always feel like really frazzled when I don't have a cushion in my business bank account in case of something, and my cushion is not very large right now, and I'm feeling it. Also, I want to start paying quarterly taxes this year and being a responsible human, and that frazzles me a little bit. And then secondly, moving forward with living donors, again, something I will be talking about soon. That's something that I can start doing soon. And so I'm afraid of that, because what if nobody wants to give me their kidney, even though I know people have expressed interest? Or what if we can't find one and I have to wait 10 years for a cadaver kidney? That's a very reasonable fear, I think. And then hopeful that this month shows a lot of growth in all areas of my life. I feel like there's potential here for me to maybe not grow in a huge way, but to show progress in a bunch of different places, and I'm looking forward to that. I'm hoping my kids finish their school year out strong in different aspects of their life. That's my hope. And then summer is coming, and while I'm stressed out about juggling this summer, I'm also excited about the nice weather. I'm excited about maybe redoing our backyard a little bit. I'm excited about more time with my kids. I'm excited about all sorts of things. So the summertime coming is both something that I'm stressed about and excited about. It's a mixed bag, baby. All right, on my calendar. I should pull my calendar up then, shouldn't I? Let's take a look at May. It's gonna be May. I think this also reflects kind of how mellow I'm hoping for part of this month to be after my trip. On my calendar, Go Wild, the book club is wrapping up. Both kids have band things this month. I am Sunday service assistant at my church on the 18th, and then our custody is really weird this month because of my ex-husband's wife's birthday, and there's some traveling, so we're sort of juggling the kids in a little bit of a different way. Important to-dos, I got a contract I got to look at this month. I got a deadline. I'm trying some new stuff on my channel, and I've got some really big bills due this month that I got to remember to pay. And then I'm excited for Go Wild, my kids' concerts, and 2 weeks of kind of mellow, get shit done. Maybe 3 weeks. I'm not really sure. So I'm looking forward to a month where I've got a lot of stuff to do, but it's a lot of time to just put my nose to the grindstone. And sometimes I really like that. And as much as I've loved Plan As You Go this month, I'm excited for that to be kind of done so that I don't have to worry about that quite as much. Make what matters happen this month. Okay, the brain stream. It's time for the brain stream. All right, so I'm kind of looking at this brainstorm here, and I've got planning out some May deadlines, brainstorm potential skill share courses, which is in the future here, looking into podcast sponsors, formatting my newsletter, which will start going out the week after book club is over, my YouTube analyses, whatever that is, house cleaning service, looking into that. We've started looking into that. I want to try and get that nailed down this month. Potentially new patio furniture, although our house is in the middle of being painted, so that may not be something we do this month. As a matter of fact, I may cross you out, and we will work on you in June. Blackberries, my dude, is what I put. That's going to be my vegetable/fruit for the month. An IKEA trip to get some stuff for my bedroom so I can go through my books and move all my books into the house. New content brainstorm, and making the plans for the summer. So there's kind of what is in my mind right now. So it's time to work on my attending list. So the encouraging words I'm going to use is slow and steady wins the race. And the reason I'm using those, my focus for the month from my bullet journal is do a little bit every day. Don't let shit pile up. That's really important with the deadlines I'm working under right now, for me to not procrastinate and then have to burn the midnight petroleum. That's what I had to do this last week, but that wasn't because I procrastinated. That was actually because of circumstances. But this month I have the opportunity to do a little bit every single day or a little bit every single week. And I think that I should take advantage of the fact that I have this time to plan the work I need to do around my life rather than planning my life around the work I need to do. I should write that down. I'm going to write that down instead. Hell yeah. I wrote what I just said I was going to write, and then my top priority is a deadline I have at the end of this month. I'm busting out my goal-setting book from Cultivate What Matters for color coding, and I'm going to move monthly action items from both my brainstorm and from my goals to here, and I'm just going to fill all of these out, and we'll go over them when I'm done. I've got all 8 goals represented here. I think it's probably a work-heavy month, which is fine. I would say that the ones that are not the health goal, which goal is that? Let me read that one for you. The blue goal, which is treat my whole self, mind and body kindly. It's represented mainly with the gym and meal planning, but I'm okay with that because this month I've got a lot going on in other aspects of my life. So let's go down the list and talk about them. In my monthly action items, some of these are familiar. They've been on every month. Some of them are new. 30 and 90 day analysis, finish receipt system, monthly budget, create potential sponsor list for the podcast, brainstorm a Skillshare list, planning the summer out. I have put summer days off before, and it's going to be more than that now. Like summer days off, we've got some of those figured out, but trips, things like that. Gym membership with Jessie, that was something I had for last month that did not happen, and so I'm hoping to get to it this month. And the reason I have it as our relationship is because it's something that we want to do together, but further down the list, it's not, and I'll talk about that. Hire a house cleaner, reorganize the spaces based on what my organizer told me to try. Plan out all the May deadlines, which is a top priority because that will keep me on track all month. And date night, which looks really janky. I've added some extras on both of those. I don't know if that's good or bad. And then here we've got meal plan, cook with blackberries, work on the big project. And I'm putting this weekly because I don't know if I'm going to schedule myself every day or just a certain amount per week. But if I get some work done, if I complete however much work I've assigned myself for a week, that's going to be what I check off. Spring declutter, that same list from the spring video. I'll put that up in the cards. So just continuing on that because I was going to try and do it all in April. That didn't happen. So I'm going to just keep working on it. Inbox 0. Reconcile my business spreadsheet, update my budget, work outside the home, aka getting outside of the house sometimes during the week, and then family plan time. And then for my daily action items, I have my 100-day project, and I put journal instead of morning pages. If I can just get a little journaling done each day, that might be a good start. Going to the gym, which would require this part, and that I put under health because whether Jesse goes with me or not, I need to do that, even though we're going to look at it as something we do together. Water, 3 liters, which may seem like a lot, but I had a conversation with a nutritionist or a dietitian from UCSF who said that one of the things they've seen with PKD patients is that drinking that much water sometimes can help slow the growth of cysts. And I am all for that. And I already do drink a lot of water, but really monitoring that intake and seeing if I can hit 3 liters a day is going to be, I think, helpful. And then Trello/Google, which is where I'm organizing this whole project situation. And so just checking that every day to make sure I'm on track is something I want to do. I took skincare off of this because I am now in such a routine with it that I don't think it needs to be on here anymore. And I also removed Headspace because that just wasn't fucking happening. And so I'm not going to worry about that right now. So here is my power sheets for the next month. I hope that this was helpful for you in thinking about how to organize the stuff you're working on. I would love to hear from you in the comments what you thought about this Plan As You Go series. If you liked it, if you want to see it again, and maybe let me know what videos you'd like to see from me in the future, because I'm trying to work on some new things, and I always love feedback and ideas from you guys because you're the ones who watch it, so I'd love to know what it is you want to watch. Thank you so much for sticking with me this whole month and through this video. I really appreciate each and every one of you, especially my patrons, but not just my patrons, but especially my patrons. Thank you so much for watching. Subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you tomorrow for another video.